Guys, I'm sorry, but I just got to get back on this NBA China situation. I understand for a lot of people you could care less, and that's honestly why I'm talking about it. And I don't want to draw too much attention to it because, like, at this point, I honestly feel like this is a leak. Like, the NBA is going to try to move on as if this never happened, and I think China is going to. Well, I'm not going to say I think any of this. Like, there's a chance that the NBA is going to move on if this never happened, and that China's just going to allow that to happen as well because of, they have reasons. They like the NBA. Like, so we're going to move on. Our bad, my bad. We messed up. Let's not let this happen again, and we're going to have these games, and everything's going to be fine. But like the reason I say it's a leak is because we all saw that. Like, and I've been following NBA for a long time, and people that are into finance or like some people see that this is like a vulnerability for the NBA. Well, I don't want to say a vulnerability, but it is. They are heavily like they need the global market. The NBA is a global brand. Like it is not. It is much different. Um, you know, Obviously players like the best players in the game have always made millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars over their career. But the reason why Kyle Lowry's, marginal stars, Mike Conley's can make $30 million in one NBA season is not just because of the American popularity. Because the game has become more popular even in America. The NBA has grown in popularity over the last 5 to 10 years, let's just say. But to increase Kyle Lowry's contract to $30 million per, like it ain't become that damn popular. Like that's the global brand doing that. Like all the money across the world that they're getting feeding into the NBA so they can pay Kyle Lowry $30 million a year. So this is what we're talking about here, guys. Like we're dealing like this is why I say it's a vulnerability for the NBA because when you start to deal with all this stuff that's not the way America, handles itself, it's, you can get yourself in situations like we just saw. It was a leak. Like they're going to try to nothing to see. This can't happen. But like, let's just say if the NBA were to continue their same exact business model for 20 years, I don't see how something like this wouldn't happen again, especially in today's world where this all started with a tweet. Like this was just a tweet that probably every American, unless you knew either, what was going on in China, was like, oh yeah, whatever. Again, even myself, when I saw like what happened, I just was like, this is like, okay, yeah, it was bad. Like, apologize, it sucks. Like, don't fire Maury, but we're gonna be getting past this. But then like something triggered like, whoa, like this is actually a big deal, and not just because of this issue, but just things that can happen in the future and where the NBA is in all this stuff. It's kind of crazy, and I don't want to make this video too long here just on Instagram, but if you kind of know what's going on, let me know what you think about all this in the comments, because it's really just fascinating. Really, and what, like, another way to explain this, I talked about this in my Team USA, is like, if you look at like the talent in the NBA under 23, it is like 60-40 right now in terms of like, foreign players and USA players. I'm serious. If you go look at it, it's much closer than people are trying to wake up to. Like they are now. Again, it's just one country, America versus the world, but it's close right now, closer than it's ever been, and that's showing like the game has grown so much globally over the last 10 to 20 years. I mean, so much, like 60-70%, as to where in America over some that time period, that 5 to 10 year period, I don't know what it is, but let's just say it's a number like 20. Like, it's not the kind of situation that, again, it's going to let Kyle Lowry make his $30 million a year, because Kyle Lowry's not too long ago made $12 million a year, $10 million a year, and that was fine, and that has gone up like that, and it's the global market, and we're seeing that. So since the NBA is vulnerable here, I think that over the next 10 years, I would say, they try to handle it. I don't know what's going to be done, but I think that they need to watch out for situations like this. You don't want this to end up being something, in the future, especially when, like, this is the NBA. Like, the NBA has plans of being around 100 years from now, right? So they need to start thinking about things like this, especially as things are changing in this world, and just, better be on your toes.